Yan Liang. She's an Associate Professor of Economics at Willamette University. Professor, President Trump saying U.S. not ready to make a deal with China, at least not yet. What do you make of these comments? Why is he saying this now?
Nice to talk to you again. So I think I was very hopeful when the trade talks started again after the Osaka meeting of the two presidents, but then the past week and a half have been really tumultuous. I think Trump he seemed to want to make a quick deal heading into the 2020 president election. So he has taken some actions in the past week, for example, announcing a 10% of tariff rate on another $300 billion of Chinese imports, and also declaring China as a currency manipulator, once the Chinese yuan slided down below the 7-to-1 ratio. So it seems that the trade tension has heightened in the past week and a half. China just made the announcement that they're going to suspend the purchase of the U.S. agricultural products. So it seems that the two sides are heading into September negotiations with pretty tough situations that they find themselves into right now.
Well, President Trump even said about those talks in September, he said if we do it, it's fine. If we don't, that's fine. Certainly no sense of urgency from the Trump administration. Why is that?
Well, I think that's what he said, but from his actions, it seems that he is kind of in a rush to make a deal. If you look at, the two sides just met in Shanghai on Tuesday and Wednesday, but then by Thursday, he announced a new tariff, and then on Monday, they declared China as a currency manipulator. So I think, and also yesterday, they banned the federal agencies from using Huawei's equipment and devices. So I think a series of actions have indicated that he is applying maximum pressure as his usual strategy and trying to get a deal with China. Not to mention, right now, I think he's also facing the pressure from, for example, the farming community, who is suffering as a sort of a casualty from this trade war. So I think it is in his interest to reach a trade deal, but he cannot make any sort of compromises given the bipartisan pressure.
Talk about the allegations of China being a currency manipulator. Why is that such a big deal? Is it simply because this is the first such designation in some 25 years? Why is this important?
I think it's important in the symbolic value sense. I think that indicated the heightened trade tensions or the economic tensions between the two countries. And also this kind of tension has gone beyond just trade, but involves currency values. And I also think that, as you said, this is the first time that China is labeled as currency manipulator since 1994. And Trump, after he took office, passed 5 chances to labeling China as a currency manipulator. So the timing indicated that this is very much motivated by political and policy concerns. And again, I think this is one of his strategies to apply maximum pressure on China and try to talk China into sort of making a trade deal.
And there's some speculation China will target U.S. oil imports possibly to respond to the latest moves by the United States.
Right. I think China seemed to toughen up in their stance against Trump right now. It seems that they are taking this wait it out strategy and trying not to cave in before the 2020 election. So they're trying to look into different possibilities, oil, tariff, the currency, and so on and so forth. But I think eventually, as long as China is able to use its domestic policies to sustain its economy, it will be able to, sort of delay these negotiations and trying to, win the war without really hurting the U.S. in these various battles.
All right, we'll see if those talks happen in September. Professor Yan Liang, thank you so much.